Hey Pete, how you doing?
Hey Jason, how you brewing?
I'm brewing good. How you brewing, Daniel?
Dude, brewing great, man.
We're lucky to have Dan Vennard from Autumn March Brewery here today.
Yeah.
Brought something over for us to try.
So this is our newest Hazy Boy. It's actually a little bit of an experimental batch we got going. So we got the standard Hazy Boy in our big tank. We're actually transferring it today, so we're going to split the batch. And then the second half is actually getting some dragon fruit. So if you remember from last year, we had the Mere Tenacity beer, which was a very bright pink beer. So that's our Breast Cancer Awareness Month beer. So we're redoing that same beer on top of this Hazy Boy.
Oh wow!
So in the next couple hours, I'm going to be chopping, 50 pounds of dragon fruit, just dropping it in this beer. It's going to be pretty good.
Smells delicious.
Yeah. So the base beer, it's kind of like our classic recipe for hazies. We use the Kveik yeast. So that's kind of becoming kind of more of our house strain for hazies. And we used a lot of Sabro hops and cashmere. It kind of gives it really paired well with that Kveik yeast.
I got a sneak peek of this.
That's right, you did.
When I was over at the brewery, we're so lucky to be right next door to these guys, and it was still in the fermenter.
Probably like 90 plus degrees.
You had a little sample pour. I couldn't believe how good it was, and this is delicious.
Yeah.
Would you consider that a non-traditional type of hazy with that hop and yeast combination?
I think the recipe is pretty on par with a lot of the hazies out in the commercial world right now. I don't know how many people are using the Kveik strain for hazies. Particular. We've used it for West Coast and hazies at this point, and they both it's amazing in both. Like our Fingale is the West Coast version with Kveik, and this to be named beer is going to be the hazy version, and altogether was also hazy.
Do you find it's shortening your fermentation times?
Nah, I think it's probably about the same.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we might be able to speed it up a little bit, but it's we're not like dying to get the beer out around the clock. So we treat it just like any other beer, pretty much.
Yeah. It brings the Kveik seems to bring out a lot of that citrusy stuff that you expect in a
and the Sabro hops are already very tangerine fruity. Yeah. And the Kveik just adds more of that fruity character to it.
It's actually a complex beer.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there. Yeah, a lot of profiles.
I think that's a hallmark of the Autumn March beers is that there's rarely ever just like one note.
Yeah.
It's just various layers. There's sort of
there really are.
Yep. Yeah, low bitterness, very fruity, very smooth, very drinkable. I think it's still about 7% beer, so it's a very sessionable beer, but it has a little bit of a kick to it.
Sure. Yeah.
When did you hear back from Great American Beer Fest?
This coming up Friday.
Oh, exciting!
So I think the award ceremony starts at 7 o'clock on Friday. So I'll probably be in the office in the brewery watching it. Unfortunately, live music on Fridays, I don't think we can put it on the TV because we won't be able to hear anything.
Right.
Yeah, but we sent 9 beers to GABF, so we're hoping, crossing our fingers.
That's awesome.
We'll see.
Where's that, in Colorado?
It's in Denver, Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Obviously you get to send this one, but maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
Yeah.
We don't repeat beers very often, but who knows? Who knows?
Well, I'm looking forward to the dragon fruit.
The dragon fruit one's going to be good. It should be hopefully on tap next week. So I'm fruiting it today, and then hopefully Monday or Tuesday it's going to be ready for kegs.
Excellent.
Let me ask you a question. I had a conversation with someone who said in craft brewing and home brewing, the emphasis over, say, the last 25 years or something has been on hops, different hops, different timing of hops. 60, like Dogfish Head, the whole point of it was continuously hopped. That was a kind of hook. But now, this person is saying the focus is going to be less hops going forward, more of a sort of a generic idea of hops, and all about the yeast, because yeast strains are so much different. Kind of fine tuning you can do.
This is probably like a 30-minute conversation. I think there's a pendulum, right? And it's I think the early 2000s, it was all those beers. It was trying to max out the IBUs, right? It was just who can make the most bitter beer.
Yeah.
And then we realized that doesn't make the best beer. let's dial it back. And then I think that's when like IPAs really just like hit their like high point in terms of flavor.
Yeah.
Like late hop additions.
Yeah, they like it was more of like don't just worry about the boil hops, like start dry hopping, start whirlpooling, start double dry hopping, right? Like double dry hop is kind of new.
Yeah.
So I think the pendulum has swung back a lot, but I think there's still going to be that pendulum swing of the hops, and now it's like we have an extra lever to kind of like pull in the brewing process of like the yeast strains, because like these boutique like yeast strains have like exploded over the past 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
I mean, we use a lot of boutique strains, like we only use 1 or 2 like White Labs, kind of style strains. Everything else is like it's like from the small guys, like Imperial and Yeast Bay, those guys.
Yeah.
Even some of our sour dregs are even just home brews, like that we have harvested over the years.
Wow.
So
cool.
We try to keep it small and experimental as much as possible.
Imperial is opening in Philadelphia at some point. Have you heard anything more about that?
Every time I order a batch of Imperial, I'm like, when is your Philly location opening? I want to tour and I want to pick up my yeast local. I heard last time late fall, early winter.
Okay.
So I hope it's by the end of the year.
Yeah, cool.
So.
All right, Dan. Well, thanks for sharing this with us.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Thanks, Dan.
Take care.
See ya.